and give a big warm welcome to Millionaire team member Bill Bell.
Exciting time because what we're going to be talking about right now is Gen H. That's Andrew and I. Working with Gen H is really, really exciting and interesting. Now, we're going to spend 20 minutes and try and construct something for Gen H, okay, out of what we've been doing recently in Perth. I'm going to give you a background, then I'm going to get Luke and Joanna to come up here and explain in better detail exactly what we're doing, and so I'll be asking them some questions and things like that. So the objective really is to package and use this Gen H phenomenon. Now, I don't know whether anyone reads the stuff that comes out of the United States, but in the last quarter, it's the last 90 days, 9 new presidents in the United States in Gen H, okay, out of the kinds of things that the Gen H here in Perth have been constructing, okay? So, just wondering, what this is for is there's 2 purposes to this, 2 specific groups of people we want to cover in this conversation, because I know some of you will be sitting there right now going, oh, I'm Gen H, I'm 18 to 30 or 18 to 35, depending on how you define it. Then there's the rest of us that go, we ought to be. Okay? And why can't I come? And if I'm not coming, I don't want to know about it. But if you're in the I want to be Gen H category but aren't, just think, would you like some people under you going president's team that were 21-year-olds?
Yes.
Yeah? Okay? So that when you're 105, you're going to they've got a big team of even younger people that are paying you. So I think that's a really cool kind of gig if you can get it. Okay, so what we're doing with Gen H is this. Now, this, just a preamble, this is only open to certain groups of people. So there are some groups of people in this audience here today that maybe cannot take advantage of this. I'm sorry, that's life. And if you want to, you actually need to be part of the meeting team here at Vibe Nutrition. You can only be in the Gen H thing that we're running out of here if you're part of here. Does that make sense? And that's not unreasonable, because at the end of the day, someone's got to pay for venues and stuff like that, right, to generate these things. So, Gen H is based upon the initiative we're running here. I'm going to break it into 3 little groups, or 3 items. You know how we've got our blue arrow? Mm-hmm. Who's seen it? Who doesn't know our blue arrow? Get someone to teach you our blue arrow. So the first part of it is an invitation, okay? To something. Now, in this case, the something is a Gen H party. It's not a meeting, and we'll talk about that in a minute. And then, out of that, there's some follow-up required. Okay? So I look at it this way. If we're not Gen H, think of it, or if you're Gen H but not going to that particular one, which I don't recommend. If you're Gen H, you need to be there. This is kind of like sending someone to the STS in Sydney. Okay, so you invite them, they go, and then you follow them up. Does that make sense? Now, what I'm going to do is bring on the 2 driving forces of Gen H in Perth, Luke Faulkner and Joanna Guinness. Guys, can I have mics, please guys? And what we're going to do, I think what we'll do, for our last Gen H party we had like 35 people at, right? Now, so just let's look at the future. The next Gen H party, is in January. We want to get 70 people out, right? That's our target. So what I want you to do first, I'm going to ask you a question. For the people that haven't been, what actually is a Gen H party? Because a lot of people here think, oh, meeting, it's a HOM. Okay?
Do you
So,
want to answer?
yeah, do you want, yeah.
Okay. Gen H party is basically, it's a party, yeah? So don't think of a typical Herbalife presentation. It's literally a party. So there's no lights. We have a few lights, going on. We've got some lamps that we've introduced, but anyway, no lights. Music's pumping, just, the new stuff. and literally, as you walk in, okay, then we've got a door person, and they come up, and literally, whoever's the first person to see them come in really goes and welcomes them and stuff, and then gets them a drink, alcoholic drink. If they drink alcohol, if they don't drink alcohol, then we've got like a lift-off tea cocktail. Non-alcoholic, yes? Okay. And that's it, and then we just introduce them to everybody else and just get the whole mingling thing happening, and it's literally just a party. So it's just a really good socialisation for clients, for potential clients, for distributors, potential distributors, just your friends that maybe don't want to hear about this Herbalife thing. They literally come and they're pretty, I think, surprised that they're not getting like a marketing plan in front of them. But anyway, they literally just mingle, have a good time. Midway we stop it, we put the lights on and we just do a little bit of a welcome. We do some stories, so a little bit of sports performance and then some other things and then some lifestyle stories. And then we literally stop it again, put the music back on, lights go back off, and then we do some shakes. And that's it, and then we just mingle. So it's two things really. If you're a brand new person, you can take people who you wouldn't normally invite to like an opening night or something if they just didn't want to come because they didn't want to go to like a Tupperware style party. They would come to this. Or if you've been around like me and you've been there, done that with your opening nights, then it's just a good way to do a new DMO, like a waitlist challenge. Do your invites and all that kind of stuff.
Cool. Luke, is there anything you want to add to it about actually what No, that's it.
It's a party, lots of drinks.
It's a party with lots of drinks, and at some point during it, Joanna is going to get some stories out so that people can see what results people got on products. That's basically it, isn't it? Okay, now let's just go back to, so that's the party concept itself. Okay, and we try and compete with the mob next door with the noise and all that kind of stuff, right?
We do pretty good.
We do pretty good, yeah, and they're really loud. Okay, and we run it on Friday nights at 7:30 for 2 hours. There are a couple of rules with it, like it is COI, so you can't go out and put a message on Facebook or Twitter saying rock up for this kind of party. Right, it's got to be COI, they've got to be invited by you, and we need photographic ID. Right, so same as if you're going over the shed or going into the next door. Same kind of deal there. Yep. Okay. Now, so Luke, these guys haven't been prepped, okay, so they don't know what questions I'm going to ask them. How do you invite people along? What's the kind of invite you use?
Pretty much it's, I suppose, the same as if you actually had your own party. What are you doing Friday night? Look, we've got this thing at my work. It's an 18 to 35-year-old party. Free drinks, lots of good-looking women or men, depending if who I'm talking about. And it's $5 a ticket. Like we've only got 10, so if you want to come, let me know and put your name on it all. That's it.
That's it. And Joanne, did you say anything different than that?
Exact same thing.
Okay. So who can say that? Who wrote that down?
Yes.
Okay, that was a critical item because it actually stands and falls on that, right?
Yeah, but surprisingly, like you think people don't turn up to a shake party because it's a bit of a funny thing. Same thing with this. People don't turn up, you invite 20 people and they say they're going to be there and 10 will rock up. Can't be bothered, something happens.
I think the numbers really so far seem to be half the amount that RSVP come. Yeah, so if you have 10 tickets, make sure you get like 20 to 30 RSVPs and you'll have the right numbers.
Yeah, okay. Now we'll just talk about, so we're still in this inviting area, we'll just talk about the ticket part of it. So the trick is to buy 5 or 10 tickets to force you, they're only $5 each, right?
Yeah,
to force yourself to go do the invitations. Because if you don't have something that's forcing you to do the invites, you're not going to get the invitation happening, therefore you won't get the growth in your business going along, and you won't get the numbers here tonight. It all kind of falls down, right? And we experienced that last time when we didn't have enough numbers. We were thinking of, there was a proposal to cancel it, and then some of us said no way, and we generated enough, right? So that kind of really worked. So there's that invitation. Now, if you're non-Gen H, you do the same deal. Look, our work's got this party for 18 to 35-year-olds, and you invite them to go along to it. So you can do exactly the same thing, okay? How's that? Easy. Now, I just want to go through some of the things that happen at the Gen H party So Joanna, when you've invited one of your friends in, do you hang out with them all night, or what do you do?
Pretty much just we're the host, really, so we just do make sure that we go around to absolutely everybody throughout the night. So I know this sounds really bad, I'm going to say it. We pretty much do the job for you, yeah? Because if you are finding it awkward, like the sweet potato tactic, like saying that person isn't yet ready to come to like a HOM or something, we do the job for you because we have no idea if they are a part of your team, if they're a client, if they have never heard of it before. We don't know. So we just make sure that we go around to everybody and our guests are aware of that. But what I tell distributors, if they're not really used to Gen H, you need to really take care of your guests, make sure they're having a good time. I'm not interested in take care of them and put them in a corner and put a blanket on and just isolate each other and talk about whatever you guys talk about. I mean, make sure you're introducing them to other people at the party and making sure they're having a really good time, that their drinks are topped up and all that kind of stuff. And it's more the ones that have been there, done that are going to be the ones that do the mingling until you're comfortable enough to be able to do both at the same time.
Yeah, great. So if you're mingling as well and you've got a group of people that aren't yours, then you need to make sure that they're looked after with their drinks and things like that. So everybody's dependent on each other. Okay, because one of the things that we've seen happen out of this is that people will listen to somebody who's a stranger rather than you. And I just want to, you mentioned the one about Louisa.
Oh yeah, I had a girl that I met who's like an event organises a lot of the big Hush and all those kind of deals. And I'd done a full presentation with her, and she thought I was just trying to sell her to get in this thing. So I was like, come down, and this was kind of she's a very social person, so she just kept talking to different distributors, and she literally she was like, okay, so explain, as she walked in. So I just passed her off on to other people, and then she ended up talking to Louisa, and Louisa's reasonably new, but just has a wicked product story. So she heard Louisa's product story and then was like, alright, I'm going to do it. Because it wasn't about me trying to sell her into something, it was about a whole pile of other people that have no financial interest, whether she gets involved or not, telling her story. So it was pretty cool. No work, I could never do that with her, if it wasn't for those stories.
Yeah, I remember you palmed her off to me for about 15 minutes. It's like, no!
That's someone else, not me! And it happens anyone that I brought, they won't ask me questions, but if I walk past, they're asking another distributor questions, I'm like, why are you asking me? But it's really great because I don't have to explain.
Okay, cool. Now what kind of outcomes have we got so far?
Oh, well that chick signed up the next day.
Yeah.
Which was pretty cool. Got customers, got distributors out of it, and I've only done 2 or 3 so far. So it hasn't been huge numbers yet. And then people are like, alright, we'll start after Christmas or start after New Year's kind of deal as well.
Yeah. We had, I know, Ron, when you were drinking, I think your girl distributor contacted me and brought a couple of her mates so that I actually thought she came through my lead. I didn't even know she was until I saw her. I was like, oh, she's already in it. Because my numbers on SGS, I just thought it was someone that saw my ad. No. Anyway, it's okay. But she came around and because she didn't know anyone, because Ronwin's not Gen H, so Ronwin wasn't in the room to, take care of her and her guests. And she'd have been to a Gen H party, So anyway, I took care of them and just made sure that they spoke to everybody. I spoke to them for ages. She brought 2 guests. One was proud of, I think it was his brother or something, proud of her for her result. The other one went, yeah, she's tried a million times to bring me to one of these things. I do not want to know anything about it. I've just come tonight because it's a party and she forced me to. I was like, okay. And then we just were talking for ages and I probably swore a little bit too much, but that's okay. We don't know about that. But anyway, I was just
our secret video cameras in here,
Anyway, we're having a good time and we introduced him to everybody and then he came the next day to the training. So I think he signed up.
Yeah.
I don't know, you would know, but yeah. And then all of my guests either are clients or distributors from it. Nat, you had a few guests. One was her husband, so he's kind of a have to anyway. And then, you had a new distributor.
Yeah, I've got she hasn't signed up yet. She's one of those after Christmas, but she's been really interested and she was sort of just, she didn't really want to talk to me that much about it, but since that night she's been messaging me and saying, when's the next one, when's the next HOM even, she's quite keen and I didn't really see that developing with her on my own, so the for me was really good, bringing her. She's full of lifestyle, I think, and she wants not only stay on the product because I just got on products, but she's really interested in distributing.
And then a mate of mine saw you at the Dean afterwards, off your having a little bit too much to drink, and he got started on products. Because he was like, oh my god, this crazy girl could not shut up, and she's like, oh my god, this is good. And he got started.
Yeah, it's putting an overtime there.
Yeah.
So in summary, like if we went through everybody that actually has been at the party so far and how we've been working them, what we would find is that our outcomes are actually quite high. Very high rates of getting people on products and getting people becoming distributors. And one of the key things, because I know Joanna's worked in this area before, of talking to Gen H's about the business, and it hasn't gone that far, but when we've gone in from the product point of view, we've started to get massive changes, right? Okay? So this is an initiative that's in its really, really early days, and I'm totally excited about it because of what I can see the results that we're already starting to get when we don't know what we're doing.
Yeah.
Okay, now, is there anything we want to say about what actually happens on the night, or?
I suppose the only main thing, like even if you're coming or if you have a guest, don't talk about Herbalife. Like it's not appropriate. Like when you introduce your guests, say like, okay, so I have a guest, Frank, and I introduce Joanna and go, oh, Frank's really interested in the products, and like start kind of saying stuff about Frank to do with the program, and he's looked at the opportunity. No, it's like, hi, this is Joanna, and Joanna will start asking him questions about what he does, who he is, if he has a family, whatever it is. But it's not about talking about the products, only if they ask. And it normally happens after the first section. So it's kind of broken up into 2 hours. The first, yeah. So the second hour, when the people go up and tell their story of the products and business, that's when the people will start asking questions, and it's appropriate to give them a little bit of information or invite them to a meeting, but not before.
Yeah. So 2 parts that there's forming them, and if you don't know what form means, then you get to know and begin the Supervisor Academy, so you'll learn all about that one. And then the second part is the Herbalife part of the evening. Okay, now how do you do the follow-up, and how do the people actually get involved? So what do you do as the kind of next steps?
Do we go?
Text them to say when you're getting started. Because normally they've expressed some kind of interest, so they'll normally say whatever they said on the night, and it's just natural to...
Yeah, like when we do the mid-welcome bit, we do it later than mid, but anyway. Generally, where most of us are sliding tips and we're laughing a bit too much, so they say we're having a lot of fun, yeah? And then pretty much I say at the end of my spiel, because I probably verbal drive a little bit too much, that's okay, everyone laughs. Or spill my drink, At the end of it, I do say, look, anyone who's got any questions about anything to do with all of this, because we've got stuff around, just give us a shout now. And what happens is generally they will say, the money sounds good, or I have a job, or they'll say whatever, and then it's your opportunity to invite them to HOM the next day, or the STS, depending on what it is, or just go, look, if you want some stuff, I've got some packs at home. Just really casual. That's what you're going to do. I mean, Naomi came to the HOM the next day to get the meat. That's what you do, is you bring them into the meeting or go for coffee the next day or whatnot, but definitely follow up by the next day or else you've just lost it. There's no point.
Okay, so quick follow-up, but the follow-up's pretty well being set up by the Gen H party itself, right? Yeah, absolutely. Now, a couple of logistical things you have to really watch. It starts at 7:30. Now, for Gen H's, this is a problem. Not the 7:30, but actually the time frame. So any time frame, right? Okay, you don't want your guys showing at 9 o'clock, right? For obvious reasons, because they've missed out on the key part that we need to have to be leading them to the outcomes. So it's really, really important. I don't know, maybe you need to invite them half an hour early. But that we actually get them there by the 7:30, 7:45, maybe no later than that. Would that be right?
Maybe just tell them the door's going to close.
Yeah,
door's going to close.
Door's going to close by 8 or something.
Yeah.
Most people rock up at 8, to be honest.
Okay. Yeah. So we do tell them door's going to close by 8, otherwise we don't get them in on time. Yeah? Okay. Now, is there anything else you guys want to add in there?
Just do the follow-up. Seriously, follow-up's the absolute most important part of anything to do with the business anyway. But if you don't follow up, I'll give you an example. There was my friend randomly brought his mate. I had no idea he was coming, so that was a bit of a surprise. But anyway, that was a good surprise. But I was like, oh, give me his details, whatnot, to follow up on him. And I think I followed up, but it was like 3 days later, and I've kind of lost it a little bit. Like, he wants to come to the next Gen H party, so I'll obviously do the job again, because we make it that fun, you know what I mean? You get people coming in. But I could have had him by now, do you get what I mean? Because I waited 3 days. It doesn't sound like a lot, but do it the next day, or else it's pointless.
You lose it.
Yeah. And out of numbers, just so everyone knows, like, I mean, I think I've had, in the 3 parties we've had, I think I've had 25 guests come, and 24 of them have either done products or business. So you have one. And that's
my case. Okay, now we've got enough time. I'm going to. Has anyone got a quick question about the Gen H stuff? So we have a couple minutes. Brad.
Just a quick question on this. If people haven't bought a pre-order ticket, can they buy a ticket at the door?
No. Pre-buy tickets.
Actually, that's one thing. Tickets has been a bit of a, like, not an issue, but it needs to. Basically, it's distributors get ticket bundles off me, or 5 tickets or 10 ticket bundles, yeah? So you guys are in charge of getting the money for the $5 tickets from your guests, not me. I don't want to know about it, yeah? But when you're buying 5 ticket bundles, make sure you go in and buy people, because I'm catering for 5 people. Do you know what I mean? I'm not catering to think that you're not inviting anyone, but you're paying for 5 tickets. So that's an issue. Do you know what I mean? So, like, I rocked up with alcohol for 50 people, and 25 of them smashed it in an hour. You know, and I'm like, what? You know, that shouldn't have happened. Anyway, so ticket bundles, and also make sure you're getting the tickets really by, like, the Wednesday night.
The Wednesday.
Yeah.
We're cut off on the Wednesday. And look, just this thing with the alcohol, the larger the number of people that would appear, the less the head is actually drunk. Alrighty? So if you've got low numbers, then you do end up with it. So we're alright with that. Any other questions? Yeah.
Is it like a new DMO, or is like, can we do something like this in Margaret, or is it like your thing?
Like, this is really hard to actually construct. So,
But just paint it and build much royalties if you do it.
Yeah. So, yes, sure, you could do it, but it requires a critical mass of people to get it going.
Yeah.
And like, the parties at 35 are okay. We really need 70, but a party of 15 or 20 would just really bomb, wouldn't it?
I think you just need to kind of get used to it first, maybe, and then it's the reputation, to be honest. Like, when we started it originally out of Pat's house, I mean, her house is amazing, so it didn't look too dodgy, but she made it in the backyard. But we started it there, but our reputation got really good. Like, we went from 25 people, the very first Gen H party we ever did, to 50 the next week. You know what I mean? But it was purely reputation because everyone had such an awesome time. So now I would kind of be worried if somebody went and did like a shake party style Gen H thing, and I had 10 people, and everyone's like, what is that? That's not anything of what I've heard about it. And then they go tell people that it was really bad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
So we need to go, sorry.
How many core distributors were working with you to pull that off, though?
Yeah. Me, Ainsley, Pat had started like a day before we did Gen H. And then we had 2 other new, Josh and Moji, who didn't do anything. He was a no-show. Josh, yeah. But they were new, so it was only us and 2. Yeah.
So if you've got a little core group, then we probably...
Yeah.
And you need to run the numbers. This is about numbers and getting the numbers into the party. If you haven't got the numbers, and what you're after as well, what I'm looking for out of this is not a Gen H party. What we want is a Gen H party where we've got 100 people in here on a Friday night, and then we start running them every second Friday, and then it's every Friday. And we're pumping people through here in front of the stories. Okay, that's what we're actually looking for. Yeah, Andrew.
Yeah, once a month at the moment.
Once a month at the moment. Yeah. Any other questions? Yeah.
You said earlier, Bonman had guests here, but she couldn't come because she's not Gen H. So, if they're interested, how does she get feedback that
Follow up.
She has to
She has to follow
follows
up.
them up anyway.
She follows them up. So you're responsible for your own guests. These guys are responsible for taking care of everybody. So every distributor here, so if you're Gen H, you have a responsibility at the party to take care of everybody's people. Okay? The follow-up, though, is back to the person that invited you. Okay? Any other questions?
Was that food or just drinks? Just drinks.
Just drinks.
And shake at the end.
Yep. Yep.
Everyone goes
Okay.
to the after.
That's it for Gen H. Sorry, John.
Just one more question, Bill. Back on the, you've got to be associated with Live Nutrition.
Yes.
To be able to invite.
Yes.
Can you explain that a bit more?
You need to be an associate member in here, so you need to come see me afterwards about that. You can't just be a meeting member, you need to be an associate member where your downline needs to. Sorry, you need to be in the downline of an associate member.
Where's the next one?
20th of January. Okay, there'll be I think we'll have flyers up in the next couple of days. John.
So I'm just trying to understand the numbers. So if I run this, you had 35 at your first one.
Yes.
You had 4 distributors working together to get that.
That was a house-based one.
And then
So then it's morphed into, now we're a more serious venue where we can start running them every week.
Okay, but to get that 35, you had to invite like
70.
70.
Double, isn't it, roughly?
you probably invite more than that.
Yeah.
I mean, 70 doesn't say yes.
How many
We
would we
were going
invite?
for 25 each. And there was
Yeah, so we actually were fully going for it, right? We were going at 25 guests each, not 5.
Are you handing out something written, or is it just a text from phone call or Facebook?
We've got
You have an invitation.
yeah, we've got an invitation, right? So it's your job if you want to print it out. We've got fly version and poster version, but otherwise, I mean, because it's like you CY, you could just attach that.
Okay, so you really do need to be inviting a lot of people to
Yeah,
get the numbers.
you need to get confirmed. So it's the same as if you're running a shake party, where you've got to have confirmed double the number of people you are expecting to show up. So our target of January for 70, we need 140 confirmed. Now to get the 140, I don't know, you might
We're happy with that. I'll be happy with
400.
that.
You know, I don't know how many you have to do to do
more.
that. So it's about 1 out of 2 show-up rate we've got at the moment,
Pretty much.
out of the confirmed ones.
So then the invite is really important as well.
The invitation's critical. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And confirming that invite, Andrew.
Invitation and ticket are 2 different things.
Yes.
Okay, so are you talking about 120 invitations?
No, 120 people have confirmed they're going to get. I don't know. See, how you handle the tickets individually is up to you. If you've got 100, if you've got say 10 tickets, but you have 20 people confirmed, you're probably going to use your 10 tickets. Whether you get them to pay you the $5 or not beforehand is up to you.
Yeah, because the thing is, the only reason that the rate has issues, we all know if you don't pay for something, you generally don't care, you just don't rock up if you can't be bothered, right? But what happens is, $5 is, for most people, they're not going to internet bank that, so that's the only reason there is that issue there. But, what was I going to say? You basically, as I said, you buy a 5-ticket bundle, right? And then it's your responsibility to get those 5 guests. Yeah? With those 5 tickets, you get 5 tickets, right? It's not physical tickets, it'll be at the door. Okay, so under your name, you'll have 5 spots. And then people can rock up for that. But one thing I always was really serious about is do not change the price. Like it's not for you to make money off the tickets. I don't make money off the tickets. I'm probably a little bit low, but that's okay. I don't make money off the tickets. You make the money by obviously getting the outcome. So I don't want any distributors being dodgy and like charging $15 to make $10 every time. Yeah? Just strict on that. And then photo ID is required because of alcohol and stuff. Yeah.
And we also want to know who's in here, by the way, as well.
Yeah.
From a security point of view.
Yeah.
Look, also get 10 confirmed guests and they all unbelievably rock up. It's not an issue. Like, it doesn't make Wi-Fi tickets. You just sort that out later.
I do put extras on a separate page, so anyone who randomly is not under your name, it's fine.
But just so if you over-invite and you do an incredibly good job and you've only got 5 tickets or 10 tickets, no problem. Problem, where you haven't bought any tickets and you send 2 people in. That's a problem. Okay? Does that make sense? All right, cool. All right, well, our time is up, so thank you very much.